Hello friends, and welcome once again to the amazing world of English literature. We have been discussing various poems. My name is Amit Ranjan, and today we will discuss a poem from your textbook Poorvi of Class 8. The poem is Magnifying Glass. So friends, have you ever picked up a magnifying glass? Have you used it to burn a leaf? Have you used it to peer into a world you could not see with your naked eye? A crack in the pavement could become a huge valley, a blade of grass, a towering green skyscraper, or an ant, a fearsome armored knight. This sense of childlike wonder is exactly what the English poet Walter de la Mare captures in his beautiful poem about a simple yet profound scientific tool, the magnifying glass. Today we are going to explore this poem together. We'll look at its themes, its dazzling use of language, figures of speech, and a little about the author himself to understand how he transforms a round glass into a portal into the cosmos. Before we dive into the poem, who was Walter de la Mare? Born in 1873, de la Mare is often remembered as a writer who had one foot in the real world and the other in the world of dreams, the supernatural, the uncanny. He had a particular gift for seeing the world through the eyes of a child, that perspective of freshness, curiosity, imagination. He was not a scientist but an observer of human nature and the natural world. This poem is a perfect example of that. He takes a scientific instrument and does not use it for data but for wonder. He represents a romantic tradition, looking at the world not just for what it is, but for the magic it contains, if only we look closely enough. So let us look at the poem. With this round glass, I can make magic talk. A myriad shells show in a scrap of a chalk. Of but an inch of moss, a forest, flowers and trees, a drop of water like hive of bees. I lie in wait and watch how the deft spider jets the woven web silk from his spinnerets. The tigerish claws he has, and oh, the silly flies that stumble into his net with all those eyes. Not even the tiniest thing, but this my glass will make more marvelous and itself surpass. Yes, and with lenses like it, eyeing the moon, it would seem you would walk there in the afternoon. So that was the poem by Walter de la Mare. Now let us look at the poem closely. With this round glass, I can make magic talk. A myriad shells show in a scrap of a chalk. So the narrator is saying with the round glass, that is the magnifying glass, he can make magic talk. Now how can magic talk? Magic is not a person, but he lays emphasis by saying magic talk. So which is a very good metaphor to say how magic talks for itself. One feels the wonder and awe when magic talks. A myriad shells show in a scrap of a chalk. So a little piece of chalk, when you see it through a magnifying glass, you can see that there are thousands of shells inside it. This is the power of a magnifying glass. Also look at the alliteration over here, magic and myriad, shells and show. The same sounds being repeated, M and M, sh and sh. Let's look at the next stanza. Of but an inch of moss, a forest, flowers and trees, a drop of water like hive of bees. So here there are two images, an inch of moss. What is moss? Moss is the green cover that you see on stones after rain. It's actually fungus which covers all the stones, mosses and lichens. So when you look at moss with magnifying glass, you see a whole forest, flowers and trees. So when you see it up close, there is a whole world over there. Or a drop of water like a hive of bees. So when you see a drop of water closely, it's like a beehive with many small compartments inside it. So what the poet is trying to say is that when we look at something closely, when we dive deep into something, it opens up a whole world of wonder. What does the poet say in the next stanza? I lie in wait and watch how the deft spider jets the woven web silk from his spinnerets. So now there's a new image of a deft spider. Deft means skillful. So the narrator, which is a child over here, observes a spider slowly and watches him as the spider spits. So spider spit becomes the web silk, the woven web silk from his spinnerets. So the image that is used is of an industrial manufacture of fabric where there is spinning and mills and so on, and that is the image that the poet uses for the spider. So when looked through the magnifying glass, all of it looks like that. The tigerish claws he has. So the spider is being compared to a tiger. And oh, the silly flies that stumble into his net with all those eyes. It's a very beautiful image. When you magnify a fly, a common house fly, and see its eyes, it has got compound eyes that you will study in zoology later. And compound eyes, which means there are multiple eyes and they all form an image together. So with all the eyes that a fly has, it still falls into the trap of a spider. What a tragedy, and sense of wonder and amazement that the poet has. Not even the tiniest thing, but this my glass will make more marvelous and itself surpass. So with all these examples, the narrator is saying that this glass makes the tiniest thing marvelous, the most ordinary thing marvelous and wonderful, and itself surpass. So first you wonder at the magnifying glass itself, what this object is which does such wonderful things, and then when you see the scene through it, that surpasses the wonder at the magnifying glass. Yes, and with lenses like it, eyeing the moon, it would seem you would walk there in the afternoon. In the last stanza, which is amazingly wonderful, he says, and here the image is of a telescope, that through the telescope when you eye the moon, its surface becomes so clear, so close, that it almost seems like you can go and take a walk there in the afternoon. So that was the poem by Walter de la Mare. Let us now unpack the poem. The speaker begins with a confident declaration. With this round glass, I can make magic talk. Right away, the tone is set. This is not a lab report, it is an incantation, like a chant. The word myriad, meaning countless or a great number, immediately expands our sense of scale. In a mere scrap of a chalk, he sees myriad shells, revealing the fossilized history hidden in the most ordinary object. He uses powerful similes and metaphors to make the invisible visible. Now let us pause and understand what a metaphor is and what a simile is. A metaphor is when a word is used or an expression is used to describe something else, like she is the sun of the world. Sun is S-U-N, so she is powerful, she is glowing, she is glorious, therefore she is the sun of the world. In a simile, you would always see the word like the hive of a bee, as we see in this poem. So, an inch of moss becomes a forest, flowers and trees. This is a metaphor. A drop of water is like a hive of bees. This is a simile. This is a brilliant comparison that conveys the teeming, bustling life in a single pond droplet. But the poem takes a darker, more dramatic turn. The speaker becomes a hidden spectator. I lie in wait and watch. This is where we get an amazing insight into imagery. Look at the vocabulary used to describe the spider. Deft meaning skillful. Its silk jets from its spinnerets. This active, almost industrial language. Then it becomes predatory, the tigerish claws, and the contrast with the silly flies who stumble into his net with all those eyes. The final exclamation is the key, is the cry of astonishment and pity. How can a creature with so many eyes be so blind to danger? This moment transforms the web from a wonder of engineering into a lethal trap, adding a layer of tension and drama to this microscopic world. The final two stanzas bring home the poem's central themes. First, the revelation of hidden worlds. The glass doesn't just magnify, it will make more marvelous and itself surpass. The reality once revealed is more amazing than the tool used to see it. And finally, the theme of boundless imagination. The poem culminates in a breathtaking leap. From a spider in a web, he moves to the moon. Yes, and with lenses like it, eyeing the moon, it would seem you would walk there in the afternoon. This is a hyperbole, a deliberate exaggeration, but it makes a profound point. The same curiosity that peers into a drop of water dreams of walking on the moon. The microscope and the telescope are kindred spirits. Both are tools that extend our sight and shrink a vast, intimidating distance, whether microscopic or cosmic. So in conclusion, what is Walter de la Mare ultimately telling us? He is giving us a prescription against indifference. In a world that often feels too large and too fast, he asks us to slow down and look closer. The round glass is a metaphor for a quality we can all cultivate, attentiveness. It is about choosing to see the forest in the moss, the hive in the water, the epic battle in a spider's web, and the accessible adventure in the distant moon. He reminds us that magic does not require a wand, it requires a shift in perspective. So this poem is an invitation to find the extraordinary in the ordinary, to recognize that wonder is all around us, hidden in plain sight, waiting only for a curious eye to discover it. So thank you very much, friends. The next time you see a dewdrop on a leaf or a crumb on a table, I hope you do remember de la Mare's words and the marvelous world that resides within the tiniest of things. Thank you for joining us, and I'll be back with another poem very soon. Namaskar.